Mic's on. Hello and good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Holly Township Parks and Recreation. This is our regular commission meeting, and today's date is June 10th, 2026. With that, I'd like to call this meeting to order. And next, as item number 2, I'd ask everyone to please join me in saying the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. It'll be a special day next month when we celebrate our 250th birthday, so that'll be exciting. Okay, with that, Madam Secretary, please call the roll.
Carl.
Here.
DeSessa.
Here.
Hutchins.
Here.
Wright.
Here.
Earl. Here. We have a quorum.
Very good. Okay, moving right along to item number 4, the approval of the minutes. Is there a motion to approve items A and B, or does someone wish to make another motion? Well, let's start with the first one. Let's start with the first one. Okay, first one would be item number 4A. This is the motion to approve minutes for the Holly Township Parks and Recreation Regular Commission meeting of May 13th, 2026. Do I hear a motion from someone?
I'll make that motion. We approve the minutes from the regular meeting
Okay.
held May 13th.
Okay, very good. Motion made by Commissioner Earl.
No,
Carl. Carl. Is there a support?
Support.
Supported by Commissioner Wright. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Next, we have a motion to approve the minutes of the Holly Township Parks and Recreation Special Meeting of June 1st, 2026. Do I hear a motion?
Madam Chair, point of order.
Yes.
I move to postpone the adoption of the minutes of the special meeting of June 1st due to the fact that we just got those minutes today. And I, for one, have not been able to go through them.
Okay. So that is your motion?
That is my
Postpone.
motion.
Is there a support?
Support.
Okay. Supported by Commissioner Hutchins. Any discussion from anyone before I move?
I would like to say, Madam Secretary, this is not any slight on you whatsoever. I understand minutes are extremely difficult, and I know you have a lot going on. It's just the fact that we haven't been able to look at them until now. I prefer to postpone until next month.
It's fine. Appreciate that
Okay. Thank you.
explanation. Yeah.
All right. Okay. Very good. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, motion approved, motion passed. So with that, we'll move this item to the next meeting. Okay. Next is item number 5, approval of the agenda, or if there are any changes or amendments to the agenda. Is there anyone wish to make a motion to approve this agenda as is, or are there any amendments?
Madam Chair?
Yes.
I do have a amendment. Under new business A, the property and liability insurance, it has come to my attention that we also have a workman's comp insurance policy that we need to approve. It's not listed on the agenda. I move to put that to new business D.
D, okay.
And that motion would be the motion to approve the renewal of the Michigan Municipal League Workers' Compensation Fund at a cost of $1,053, including a dividend credit of $1,119 applied to this year's renewal premium.
Okay. Will you make that motion again when the time comes?
I do
don't
make
have
the
all
motion
written
to
down.
add
To add that? I mean, read it again at the, when we get to that point. I'm sorry, I did not write all that down.
That's
So,
okay.
okay,
I make the motion to add to new business be 8D.
8D. Okay.
Motion to approve the renewal of the Michigan Municipal Legal Workers' Compensation Fund at a cost of $1,000 or $1,053, including a dividend credit of $1,119 applied to this year's renewal premium.
Okay, very good.
I lost the second half of that. After the $1,053, including.
Including a dividend credit
Okay,
of $1,119 even, applied to this year's renewal premium.
I can give you a copy. Thank you.
So the first item, let me just make this clear. The first item under new business, 8A, we're going to consider just the renewal premium for liability and property insurance. Is that correct?
Correct. We can't combine motions, and all new motions have to go to the end of new business.
Okay. And then item number D is to approve the,
Municipal League Workers' Compensation.
workers' compensation. Okay, that's what I was looking for. Okay, very good. Are there any other amendments anyone wishes to make? Or any, no? Commissioner?
Last meeting,
Mhm.
perhaps it was a special, we talked briefly about working with the village parks, coordinating parking for July 3. And I'm wondering if we need to move forward and approve that.
You want to add that to the agenda?
I would.
Okay. So that would be also fall under new business. And so you'd like to discuss item number E, and we should label it discuss and approve. Parking,
Coordination of parking,
coordination of parking with
village parks,
Village Parks.
personnel.
Village of Holly. Village of Holly Parks. Okay. Are there any other? Okay. Madam Secretary, you got that? Okay, that'll be item number E. Very good. All right, so there's a motion to change the agenda, and we made those changes. Was there any other motion that we needed regarding the minutes at all? Commissioner Wright, we talked about this a little bit.
I'm sorry, can you say that again, ma'am?
Was there any other change on the minutes that you wanted to add to the minutes? No? For the budget?
No, because we did A and B,
Mhm.
and we postponed June 1st.
We postponed June 1st, okay.
Yeah, we postponed that one. The other minutes of May 13th were sent by Manager Blanchard on May 28th.
Okay.
So we have plenty of time to go over the May 13th
I
minutes.
see, okay. But just so you all know, the motion to approve the most recent minutes, they're also for May 13th. Is that correct? That's how I have it. This is for the budget hearing?
The only minutes that I asked to postpone was for the special meeting of June 1st.
Of June 1st.
Yes.
But on this current agenda,
Yeah, we approved
for
them.
everybody else, it only lists the first regular meeting minutes from May 13th
Mhm.
and not the budget hearing minutes.
That's what I was saying.
My mistake.
It's
I
okay.
apologize.
That's all right.
Can we
Yeah.
also add that?
Okay.
So can we also add, well, we've already gone through we'll just have to do it at the next meeting. We'll just add it. That's
Yeah.
okay. We won't address it. We'll add it to our next meeting. Okay? All right, I'll make a note. Okay.
Just for review, we're postponing regular meeting or special?
We're postponing the minutes of the special meeting of June 1st.
Okay,
Yes.
We are?
all right.
Okay. All right, so that was postponed and that was approved. And then we'll also add the special, the hearing for the budget as well. Okay, but we'll do that for next time. I got it now. Okay. Everybody okay?
Mhm.
Okay, very good. Okay, so motion to amend the agenda, as we just discussed. We have 3 items. They include items for the minutes, an item under number 8, which is new business. We added 2 new items. One is to discuss under item number D, the Michigan Municipal League's Workers' Compensation Plan, and I'll have Commissioner Wright say it one more time. And then item number 3, made by Commissioner Carl, to discuss and approve coordination. Wait, let me just say this. Is it okay to put the word approve, or discuss and consider perhaps? I don't want to say approve and then it doesn't happen. So, does it matter?
I don't believe so. I
Okay,
believe
that's-
that the action that would be
positive.
taken would be to approve anything, so
Okay. So it would be okay?
it would be,
in the positive
it would be
side.
approved, yes.
All right, so discuss and approve coordination of parking with the Village of Holly Parks. Okay. So is the motion, do I understand correctly that that was made by Commissioner Wright to make all those changes? Would you agree with that?
Sure.
Okay.
I make that motion to approve the amended agenda for the meeting of June 10th, 2026 as amended.
Okay, and then can I get a support?
Support?
Okay, thank you, Commissioner Carl. Very good. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, hearing none. Item passed. Okay, so next, we have item number 6, which is public comment. Now, under this item, members of the public can address the commission once recognized by the chairperson for the items on this agenda only. Comments are limited to 4 minutes. The commission may extend this time by up to an additional 4 minutes by majority vote. Prior to addressing the commission, members of the public are asked to state their name, street name, and town. Are there any people from the public that wish to make a comment? I know we have 2 people.
Hi, my name is Lorraine Bowler. My only question is the fact that public comment is on your agenda twice, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
The reason is because the first one has to do with specific agenda items. The second time, it has to do with anything related to parks.
Okay, I'll wait.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes, I know we want to make sure that the public has enough time to comment, and so we put it in there twice. All right, thank you. Are there anyone else that wishes to make a comment? Just your street, just the street, where you're, that's it.
Can you turn that mic on, Quinn? Thank you.
Hello, I'm Quinn Davis. I live on Saginaw Street in Holly, Michigan. My comment is about the new business B, about the $800 including the cost of the refrigerator. I mean, realistically, can we see what, I mean, Mary mentioned today that we don't know if the refrigerator works. Can we find out if the refrigerator works?
Do you
I
mean
mean-
that big one?
Mm-hmm.
The black one,
Well, is
is that what you mean? The black one or
The big Pepsi,
Oh,
the big Pepsi
I know.
container?
okay.
Commissioners, hold on, madam, let's just hear her comments,
Okay.
and then we'll discuss it during the agenda item, okay? Anything
So,
else?
I mean, if we find out if it works, it would negate the cost of needing to purchase a refrigerator. And realistically, the cost of running a refrigerator for 3 months of the year would be minimal, I would assume. And maybe it's that refrigerator specifically, if it's old, if it's not, up to today's standards with energy use and such, maybe selling it would be beneficial versus just keeping it in there for storage. Is my
Okay.
thought.
Thank you. We'll
Mhm.
address those items, okay? Thank you for your comments. Anything else from anyone? Okay. Hearing none, I'm going to go ahead and close public comment. Thank you, ladies. Thank you both. Okay, so moving on to item number 7, old business. Item number A, discuss and consider funding options to update the current Holly Township Parks and Recreation Master Plan. I'd hoped to provide some information to the commission regarding some estimated costs for this. Unfortunately, I was not able to do that today. But it is important that we update this master plan. It is due in December of this year. And I don't know how much it would cost, which is why I wanted to at least bring this to your attention. We've talked about it. It is important that we put together a master plan that looks professional and has key information in there. I don't have, I know the village has done a different take. We've discussed this. I know Commissioner Hutchins has explained that at the Village of Holly, they've each given the commissioners a section for them to update. I would not recommend that personally. Again, I'd like for us to take a look at maybe looking to see how much it would cost. When we apply for grants and things of that nature, the master plan is very important. It's very key. And I would like for it to be done with information that is accurate, that is correct. And I know a little of planning, but not enough. I don't know if the rest of you feel that way. It's not just a matter of getting numbers and updating those numbers. You have to be able to analyze the information that you have as you put the master plan together. I would prefer that we seek a professional on this item, and I'd be happy to bring this back to the commission at a later time, at the next month meeting, as a matter of fact. And I don't think it'll take a long time to update, but certainly this is key, especially when we start looking for grants, we start applying for other things that are out there. The master plan is going to be very important. And I don't want to do don't want to present a document that looks like it's, unprofessional. And it's just my personal opinion, Commission. So what are your thoughts on this? Do I need to get a motion first to discuss and go with that? Okay, so I will make the motion. I will support I will make the motion to consider item number A. Is there a support?
Support.
Thank you, Commissioner Carl. Okay, you've heard my little mini presentation. Is there any questions? Or do you concur? Would you allow me to take a look at this and come back? If it becomes prohibitive, that it's so super expensive, then obviously we're going to have to take a look at something else. But I sincerely hope that I'm able to find a reasonable, and I don't know what reasonable means, company that can do this for us. I am familiar with several planning consultants, and I can ask. But I'll make sure that they update only those parts that are key and necessary.
Then I will comment.
Okay, yes, please, it's time to comment.
My take on the current master plan was that it was incredibly weak.
Okay.
I was not impressed with the showing bodies of water and, you know, that, who cares? That to me is not part of the plan. So I was not impressed. So I'm curious, I'd love to see samples of someone else's plan, but based on that, Commissioner Hutchins mentioned that, I mean, demographic availabilities are from, we can get that from the county, if that's necessary. You know, takes from this wonderful survey are pertinent. However, I'll hold judgment until, you know, I see something better than what we are currently have adopted.
So, okay, that's it, you made some interesting remarks, and so when the commission before us, okay, when they came together, they are the ones who came up with this master plan and what they felt was best examined. When the planners take a look at our property, they consider that. Now, being close to a body of water may be important when it comes to the development of our community. We are surrounded by a couple of lakes. I mean, the Shiawassee River is right in our backyard. So that is key to us. It has an impact.
Nothing in the plan, developing and executing what we intend to do in this 5-year plan was pertinent to those bodies of water listed on a county map.
Well, then we can ask, and perhaps that could be something that is not necessary, but I personally think that it is.
I can clarify. I think it was loaded with demographic stuff that was not actionable, or it was decided by the commission to not take action on the loads of demographic information. If we're going to put it in there, let's identify it and act on it. But it was
So many.
It was pudding. It was not an impressive 5-year plan.
Okay, so I've looked at it recently, I've read it recently. I am very pleased to say that many of the items that were recommended have been done. A majority of them have been done.
There weren't many.
There weren't many, I know, but there were some. Again, I don't want to, I want to respect the wishes of the previous planning commission or park commission. And at that point, this is what they felt was needed when they met with the consultants. So I will talk to the consultants. I will express the concerns. Please know this, when I say I will work with the manager. I am not going to do this by myself. I will sit down with her, and she will make sure that she hears everything I hear. So I can express those concerns and those issues, and then they can give me more or less a quick estimate. But I will share one more thing. And I don't know why, and I understand this, and I understand about the demographics, but it's not that simple that we just go to the county and say, okay, here, give us this. They're not going to do that. We're going to have to do the research. We're going to have to go out there and take a look at whatever these numbers are, and then we're going to have to make sure that they are the most accurate. We're going to have to make footnotes as to where we got them from. What is the latest date that they were done? Now, you and I may think that these statistics are not key, but when we apply for grants and things of that nature, the individuals that are considering our grant, they do look at these numbers, and it is important to them. Now, this is just my personal opinion based on my experience, and that's why some of those things are necessary. But perhaps, you know, we have a concern here, there's an issue, and we can talk with the planners, and they may see and understand your point. Okay? All right. I think you bring up an interesting point, and again, you want the master plan to be reflective of where we are, and I understand that you don't feel that it did that. Unfortunately, when it came to participation, even in some of the largest cities that I've worked in, we will get very little participation. So we've talked about this, and we've said that we're going to go out to the public, promote it a little bit more. We're going to do our best to get a lot of people. I mean, look at at our budget meeting. We didn't get anyone. when I go to other meetings, not just this, but you go to the village or you go to the township, and there'll be very little comment. And that's unfortunate, but it is there, and it is open to the public, and they can come, and I'm hoping that more people will do so, because this is so important. Commissioner Wright, I see your face. Do you have a comment, Commissioner Hutchins?
Yes.
Okay.
Our current master plan was done by professional people. It wasn't done by the commission.
No, I know. Mhm.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's one statement.
Mhm.
Let's keep this on track. It was professionally done.
Yes, yes.
And a lot of the demographics are notable because that's what is around us in our nucleus. So when they look at a grant, they look at where are you, how many people, what roads, what boundaries, what bodies of water, whatever else, is all taken into consideration.
Yeah, I didn't mean that it's not pertinent, but it just seemed like milquetoast, the actions in the 5-year plan compared to the content. And so I'm not opposed to it, but I also think it's available.
I mean, again, I think many times when they come up with actions, and this is, again, just based on my experience, they make them achievable, realistic. And so, you can, I mean, I've seen some cities that put up items that you're not going to reach this first year, maybe in the 5th year perhaps, and that's fine too, but we can discuss that with them.
I'll hold my comments, because look, we don't know the cost of this.
Okay.
I want to see value for the money. I want to see something, if we're going to, push this out to a professional.
Well,
I want to see their work.
so I'll be happy to show you master plans from
Good.
other communities, but I will also say this to you. Unfortunately, many communities do not pay attention to the master plan. I think probably this commission has paid more attention than I've seen, in others. I appreciate the comments made by everyone here, but unfortunately, we have limited staff, and so the master plan is something that is just one other item that we need to take into consideration when we put our budget together. That's something, it's a time when we look at that, all kinds of things. So I like your point, sir, and I think perhaps as we go through this, we'll take that in, I'll take that into mind, or we all will actually, and make sure that it's not just a plan that we put on the, on our counter, on our table. It's something that we make it a living document and we utilize it. So I'm not asking for any action here. We're just discussing, but I will come back to you at our next meeting and give you some information in terms of costs, and I'll show you some other plans that are done by some other communities that I think have been very effective, and we can go from there. Okay? And perhaps I can bring a consultant, and they can answer the questions for you as well. All right? Okay.
Madam Chair.
Yes, sir.
I just want to say a couple things. I agree with Commissioner Hutchins that we should not spend money unnecessarily. I think there's a lot that we can do ourselves, and some of the things you've already discussed, going over the plan ourselves. We can update the park information, things that we are privy to. The concern I have is making sure, and to your point, making sure that it conforms to Michigan DNR requirements, because that's what the master plan is for grant writing and to get money into the parks, which we need. I mean, I think all of us would agree that we do need that. But there are several things that I think that we can do. One is the community survey that I put a copy of the latest draft on each of your piles there. And if I might say a couple things about that, if that's...
No, let's stay on track a little bit, but I see your point. But just so you know, the community survey, I like it very much. I'm very much in favor of it. but the master plan would be, the survey for the master plan would be very different. It would be based on the information that they have and some of the goals that we're looking to do. So it's a little
But
different.
the goals that we would be looking to do in the master plan are given, I mean, they're informed
guess I have
by
not
the
seen in
survey that
your-
we would get from the
All right,
public.
I've not read your survey, so
Right.
I don't know that, but yeah.
Uh,
When, I think we're saying the same thing. okay?
Yeah.
When we do the update for the master plan, and we will be required to do another public hearing to get the individuals to comment on the plan itself, because that's the purpose of the public hearing, not to do a survey like this, but to comment on the master plan. And we can combine it, there's no problem with that. But that's going to be key, to make sure that we show the folks that this is what we're going to be doing for the next 5 years. It is a strategic plan that we're going to be considering, that we could potentially develop based on the information that we have. So let me bring some planners, and they can better discuss this with you all and explain, and then we can go from there. But the survey, I think we can discuss later, okay? Because it's not the same, with all due respect, okay? Please. Okay, so I will come back.
I'm sorry, I do have a question about
Yes.
that. So, the survey though, is the questionnaire to everyone to kind of decide what things are important,
Mhm.
right? And like help us guide what we should make the priorities. I guess I'm not understanding how it's gonna be very different.
Well, a master plan deals with more than just, I want to buy something, or I want a program. It's a little different than that.
Okay.
Okay, but I see, and there are many similarities, okay? But it is a little different when you look at master planning, and it's beyond just, hey, I would like you to paint the pavilion, whatever. It's more than that.
But that's not really what the survey says.
And I know that.
Yeah,
and
at
I know
all,
that.
like at all.
I know that. I'm
Yeah.
just giving some very, 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 you know,
Okay, yeah.
dumb examples, okay? But the master plan is a little bit more. It's important. It's a little bit more technical, and it deals a lot more with some of our. You don't know what a master plan is?
I believe a master plan tells us where we're going.
Where we plan to go. That's
Right.
correct.
And
But
we won't know that until we get the input from the public.
Exactly.
Some, not all. It depends on our land. It depends on the demographics that we find. It depends on so much more than that. Let the planner explain that, I think, because I'm going off the deep end here, but it is more than just that, okay? I mean, I'm familiar with master plans. Mr. Commissioner Hutchins?
First of all, our budget is a direct reflection on what our priorities are, what we think are priorities, which includes the roof on this place, programming for seniors, programming for youth, programming at the beach, so it's a lot involved. At the last master plan input, 5 people showed up from the public, 5 people. You know, so surveys are nice, but they don't really reflect a whole lot. We can't get 8% of the people to come to vote, let alone come and see anything else. And our budget is a direct reflection on what our direction is. Maintenance, programs, everything. The beach, what we're doing at the beach is part of our program for improvements and maintenance. With our manager, programming stuff, yoga, kids' fun days, anything else, all that shows in our budget how much we want to spend and what we want to do with it and our priorities.
I agree. And the master plan also shows, and I think Commissioner Wright mentioned this, where are we going? And so when they look at the land that we have, the planners themselves could come and sit down with us and say, my goodness, you have this piece of property, perhaps you may want to consider doing this. You may want to consider doing something else. Again, we'll see. Let them discuss this with you all, because I don't want to mislead anyone. And, but at least I hope I have the direction from the commission to allow me to go back and research this and bring this item to you for consideration at our next meeting. Okay? Is that okay with everyone? Do I need to take a motion for that? I mean, can we just,
Is that something that needs to have an RFP?
I don't think so. No, I'm not gonna go that far. I'm first gonna, when I come back in July, that's when, you know, then you'll take some formal action, and at that point in time, if we need an RFP or something like that, then I will put something together for y'all to take a look at. Okay? I'm not going to approve anything. I'm not going to take any action. I'm going to research this matter a little further so that you can sit down and consider it and look at it a little closer. Okay? And address some of your concerns and some of your concerns. Okay? All righty. Thank you, Commission. All right, having no other discussion on item number A, we'll go to item number 7B, and this is to discuss disposal requirement of capital equipment items and consider developing a new policy that would address future disposal needs. My favorite. Is there a motion supporting this item?
Make that motion to discuss the disposal requirements for capital equipment items and consider developing a new policy that would address further disposal needs.
Okay. Motion by Commissioner Wright. Is there a support?
Support.
Support by Commissioner Carl. Discussion? May I turn it over to the manager and see if she wishes to address this matter first before we begin? Madam Manager?
We do have several items that have come up as far as either being unusable at the beach and also a truck that is quite old and in disrepair that we have considered. There are some other items, older spring toys that we have discussed with the village, and they have decided they do not want to pursue having those in their park. So that is another thing that we might be able to try to either sell or dispose of by scrapping. So I would hope that we would be able to attract, particularly with the older toys, some type of payment on those, because some people do value those kind of things. So I think that we do have items that we can. I think at this point, one of the things I did just briefly go on the app site that DPW director from the Village of Holly had recommended, called Municipid. And it looks to me like what they want is a actual photo of the item and then a description, and then they do that individually. It's not like a large description of each item. So, you know, we'll have to go through and actually, you know, see how that works out. Originally, when Chairperson DeSessa and I had discussed it, we had thought that going out and actually posting it, possibly all the items in the Tri-County Times and making them available to everybody would be sufficient. I think that's what we're looking for the commission to discuss and direct as far as if they think that we should go with either Municipid or pursue, you know, posting in the Tri-County Times of the different items, and see how we proceed with that. I had previously asked Supervisor Cullis to look into what he thought was the best way to do that, and unfortunately I have not heard back. So I think we're just kind of moving forward and see how we proceed from here.
Okay. Commission, because we we are part of a township. We have to follow certain purchasing rules. I don't know if anyone has. I know Commissioner Wright is really good at this. So that's something that we would have to go back and look at the legislative policies to see what they say about the disposal of property, because these are items that were purchased by taxpayers, and so we need to dispose of them correctly, or sell. And I kind of like the way the village is recommending, only because that mechanism opens it up to everyone. And I believe that it meets the legal requirements under the legislation. Just thinking to myself, I think that would be okay. But knowing the other side of what they would say, Commissioner Wright, I don't know if you're looking at it right now. I guess we'd have to do a little bit more research on that to see what exactly those policies are. And we could definitely reach out to the township and ask them as well, because we would follow the same rules that they follow when it comes to disposing and selling of our items. So, yes, sir.
At least 2 years ago, we were considering selling the rafts. I spoke with township
Supervisor? Or
clerk,
Karen Winchester.
Karen Winchester. And I asked specifically, we're thinking they don't get used, could we put these on Marketplace? She said, absolutely. So,
Well, let's find out to confirm the
Yeah.
quickest way.
and what,
because-
I've never heard of municipid. What's the reach of municipid?
Oh, man, it's pretty
I
big.
think it goes a much larger distance than what certainly the Tri-County Times would do.
I would
Just
agree.
throughout
I
Oakland
hope
County.
so, yeah.
Mm.
Is
I
it
mean,
like
it's not
Michigan?
just Holly, is it
No,
national?
it's state. It's
State?
state. It's state. It's
And,
state.
I don't think a raft is gonna go out of state, but these.
Never know.
These spring ponies are probably worth something to a collector. And if they saw
like
them
that word.
either on eBay or something, I think they would jump on it.
That's
They're
it.
antiques.
Ooh.
Not the plastic ones, the cast.
Commissioner Hutchins.
I told Mary about who set the auction for the township when they sold the equipment from the Jackson place.
I did reach out to him by text.
Huh?
I did reach out to him by text, and I haven't heard back.
Yeah, because he's the one that set it up and went by all the rules. Yeah, I wouldn't text him, I call
I can do that.
him, yeah. Yeah, he doesn't play with his computer much, but I talked to him, I've been working on his antique tractor. So, yeah, Roger was an employee of the township at the time.
Okay. So I think it sounds like we're all in favor of disposing these items, and it looks like things such as the, what are they called? Rafts, or
The rafts.
On
the
rafts.
The rafts, we can do some of the rafts. We can also do the playground equipment, maybe some tables and chairs that we don't use or whatever. People are always looking for something like that. And so I guess if it's okay with the commission, again, we'll look at this as quickly as we can. I'll work with the manager, and if we can sell it, then we'll let y'all know, and we'll follow the proper rules. Now, what is your preference? Let me get that. Hear a little bit about that. If it's okay for us to go on Marketplace, is there a problem if we do that? Or would you prefer that we use something that's a little bit more, that other communities work with, such as, what is it called again?
Municipid.
Municipid. I prefer Municipid because I know that meets all the requirements. I don't know about Marketplace, but if it's so, then I don't see very many cities on Marketplace, but I could be wrong. The only other thing, when I was manager, we could do Municipid, but we could also do an auction ourselves, which is what I think this gentleman does, Mr. Hutchins, and he follows all the proper protocol, where he does an auction, he brings in all the material, and then we let the entire township and village know that these items are available. And once we get a policy together, I think that we make sure that it's in line with whatever the township says, and we can consider that a little bit more. It will have to be, obviously, this policy will have to mirror whatever the township rules are, but maybe written in a different manner that are simplistic for us to follow. Okay?
So would we have to come back to the commission next month as far as
Let's see what we
making a
find. Let's
decision?
see what we find. Oh, commissioners, let me ask you, what is your preference? Do you want us to come back on this, or are you all in favor that we go ahead and auction these items as long as the manager, complies with the proper regulations? What are your thoughts?
I guess my question is, what are the proper regulations?
Well,
We are independent of the township. Property of the parks belongs to the park commission, not to the township, to the Parks Commission. We don't have a specific disposal policy as far as I'm aware of.
No,
So
yeah.
we need to come up with a disposal policy of our own, make sure it can, withstand legal scrutiny.
Yeah.
And
So we need a lawyer.
that's why we budgeted some money in the budget for
Well,
legal
we did.
services.
We can do
So
that. Yes.
That
and-
would be my suggestion.
Okay.
My question is, we haven't, I'm sorry, Joe has
Commissioner
his
Hudson?
finger up.
I would do part of the checking is if you hire an auctioneer or a company, they're gonna take 30 to 50%. That's why I said we find this one contact person and find out what the regulations were, if they're still current. And as far as I know, we didn't have an auctioneer came in. We had people come, we noticed it, and it isn't hard to run an auction. How much you want for this? We want to start the bid out at, So places that's like, some of the auctions I used to go to, they got a percentage of what the take was. Yeah. And the biggest auction around is Oakland County Road Commission. They sell tractors, they sell desks, they sell everything.
Well, the one organization that Mary spoke about, there are others as well that we could look at. They're all part of Michigan, but this is one of them that the village utilizes. And Commissioner, just so you know, you're right, we are independent. However, we still have we follow the same rules when it comes to purchasing things of that nature, I believe so. I'm going to check, but I believe that we do. Okay.
It should come under state statutes and what our rules and responsibilities are.
Yes, that's what I'm going to be looking at.
And I think we need to identify exactly what are we gonna sell? Rafts,
We're gonna-
spring ponies, the old truck, is there somebody mentioned swings?
No, nobody mentioned swings, not that I know of. Swings?
I thought I heard it on this side. The swings, no?
No swings.
The public, did anyone mention?
I didn't hear swings.
Okay, but I think we have three specific?
Three specific things, the rafts or whatever those are. Rafts.
Spring
Oh, and
ponies.
The spring,
The old
truck.
freezer in the.
and the old
guard
freezer
shack.
in the guard ship. Yeah, that would be a
The
good one.
black one?
No,
No, the white one,
it's white.
the chest freezer. Okay,
It still works.
so we don't have any items.
No.
But I would think of all the vehicles, I think we gotta consider reach. I get you, on policy, but, look, how many people in a 10 to 15 mile radius of Holly are interested in a 20-foot raft?
A lot of people make floating docks out of them. Because they can take the pontoons off. Those rafts used to have 3 pontoons. Due to storage and handling with a special trailer,
Yeah.
we took the center pontoons out. And we sold those years ago.
Well,
All right, so those are I think we've talked about the key items. Let us go back and find out what we can and cannot do. Do you feel that you can consider a motion to approve the selling of the items that I've just mentioned, as long as we follow the proper protocol and we notify you? Or would you want us to come back in July and get you to formally approve it? I mean, again, it's just, it's an informal approval, but,
I'll make that motion to allow the manager to sell the property of the Parks Commission as long as it's not needed, unsafe, obsolete, or, no longer being used, as long as it's in
safe condition.
well, as long as it's within regulations of the statutes that Commissioner Hutchins
Yes,
specified.
and in line with that, yes,
Right.
Commissioner Hutchins?
I would say first we have to have a policy.
I mean, that's what I was
That
gonna
is number one. We
Well,
gotta find out what the
we have a-
rules are, so we can direct the manager. We don't want her going over here to the left field when we're supposed to be in the right field. Let's get the policy down.
Okay, well, there is a policy. We just don't have it. The policy is the one that you just mentioned from the state. That is the policy that we must comply with.
Yes, and that's what we have to find out first before we can direct our manager to sell stuff. Say, hey, here's the guidelines, here's how we can sell this, so she doesn't waste her time looking at all the different ways to sell it, online, offline.
Okay, so,
I mean, I agree with that, only because on our agenda, it says consider developing a new policy that would address future disposal needs. So it's not necessarily just this one,
okay,
but everything.
no,
else.
I guess that it was just a suggestion,
mean,
to move this over, but
Yeah.
if the commissioners feel that it's best to hold off, I have no qualms with that as well. We'll come back, we'll give you a copy. I mean, you all have a copy of the state regulations that, when we first started. So you should have that in your email. But we'll go back and we'll look at that, and we can always speak with the Township Association that we have access to as well, and they can guide us on that as well.
But Commissioner Wright did start a motion.
I do
Oh,
have
I'm
a
sorry.
motion on the table.
Would you wish to
I
withdraw?
mean, more information is always good.
Mm-hmm.
We want to do things the correct way. So I will, on that basis, rescind my motion.
Thank you, Commissioner. We will come back in July then. We've had these items for so long, it's not going to hurt. A little bit more time, but we will get it done. Okay. All right. Moving right along to item number 8, new business. First is the motion to approve the renewal premium for liability and property insurance for the Holly Township Parks and Recreation effective July 1st, 2026 to June 30th, 2027, with the Michigan Municipal League liability and property pool at a cost of $10,606. Now let me get this straight, Commissioner, because I feel myself doing things backwards. Would you like to hear the report from the manager first and then make the motion? Okay, all right. Madam Manager?
Technically, if I'm not mistaken, a motion has to be on the table in order to discuss.
Okay, that's for discussion purposes, but she can give a brief presentation on the item, and
It's
then...
still part of the
Right,
discussion,
it's
though.
still part of the discussion.
All right, then, okay. Ay, ay, ay. Do I hear a motion does someone wish to make this motion to approve item number 8A?
So moved.
Okay,
Support?
so a motion made by Commissioner Wright and supported by Commissioner Carl. All right, let's hear the report. Madam Manager?
We had been approached by Michigan Municipal League, Brian Steckroth. He is our manager dealing with the liability and property pool. And so we did get this larger set of documents, and I had forwarded previously in an email to you. But basically, it is that the MML liability and property pool amount for renewal this year is $10,606 compared to the expiring premium of $9,769. This is a premium increase of $837. There are a couple of reasons for the change in the premium. He has down A, the property values increased by $29,844 dollars, and that was due to a 4% inflation guard. And B, there was a small rate increase to the Michigan Municipal League pool. So the MML Liability and Property Pool Board of Trustees voted to return another post-renewal dividend for members renewing in 2026. The Holly Township Parks and Recreation's portion of the dividend return is $320. The Holly Township Parks and Recreation will receive this dividend in the month following payment of your 2026 renewal premium. So just today, I also did get an email from Brian Steckroth, and he asked if the commission wanted to go forward with the renewal, and I responded that just tonight we were going to be discussing this, and I would respond to him in the morning to how this went. So that is where we stand.
Very good. Any comments or questions? Okay.
I did have one question. And it kind of relates to the last option, or the last item. I'm assuming the vehicle in reference along as I'm sorry. The vehicle along with the rafts that we were talking about selling, those were included in the insurance price?
That is correct, but they had said that if we were able to dispose of them or sell them before the policy goes into effect, that they could adjust that. However, particularly based on the previous discussion, I don't think that's going to happen before the renewal. So I think you would probably have to go forward with the policy as is.
Right, and I don't think we're going to sell them anyways, so, because we have to come back to you all in July, so it's not going to happen. But I think it's important that they be insured anyway, just in case anything were to happen.
Oh, no, that was my question
understand.
was, if we did get rid of them, would we be able to get an adjustment? That was my question.
Okay, and that's a good point, because hopefully once we do that next year, then in next year's budget, we'll see some reduction there too. Commissioner Hutchins?
I've never dealt with Michigan Municipal League insurance, but I got 2 vehicles sitting in my driveway. If I sell one and my policy's already in effect, they're gonna give me a rebate of dropping that vehicle. Whether it's before or after my renewal.
I'm
I'd
not
like to
saying
know
that they
that.
necessarily wouldn't. I'm just saying that when I contacted them up to now and said that we were considering selling or disposing
Yeah.
by scrapping those items, and they said that they would process this, and then, if we were to be able to sell them before the policy goes into effect, they would take adjust the premium.
But not after?
Maybe.
It's possible that they
Well,
would.
that's what I'd like
but
to
I
know. That's
was
what my
just-
question is.
I can certainly
Yeah.
respond to him with the question
And
and ask.
when does our policy go into effect?
July 1st.
Yeah, so that's why I'd like to know after July 1st, if we take these items off of our ownership, do they
After the
adjust it?
fact,
Yeah,
after this is in
yeah,
effect.
that's what I'd like to know.
Yeah.
Because that should be standard procedure.
Well,
Yeah.
I don't recommend that we hold off on this item. I think it's important that we consider this.
Oh, yeah, we gotta have
We've
the
gotta-
insurance.
gotta
My
have
question
insurance,
was,
yeah. I understand your question, sir. Yes.
Does the rebate that comes with this policy might reflect anything that we might dispose of? There's a rebate check at the end of the year.
I think that has to do with the actual pool. It
Yeah.
doesn't have anything to do with the
With our
specific
assets,
items.
okay,
Yeah.
makes sense.
Any other comments or questions? Okay, hearing none, let's call the motion. Madam Secretary, would you please call the roll?
Wright,
Aye.
Hutchins,
Yes.
DeSessa,
Yes.
Carl,
Yes.
Earl, yes. That motion passed.
Thank you. Good questions, Commissioners. Appreciate it. Thank you. Item number 8B, motion to approve concessions for Holly Township Beach with a cost not to exceed $800, including the cost of a refrigerator. So first, is there someone who's willing to make this motion?
I'll make that motion.
Okay. Motion by Commissioner Earl. Is there a support?
Support.
Supported by Commissioner Bright. All right, let's move on to discussion. Madam Manager.
So, last year, we had brought back concessions. The commission had approved a budget of $500 at that point. However, we did exceed that budget. I think it was like $650 or something like that. However, the biggest cost, I think, was, at least deterrent, was in doing a large cooler and having to refill that with ice on a very regular basis. Looking, if the commission wanted to go back to offering concessions on possibly purchasing a refrigerator. The staff, as I had reported in an email to the commissioners, is in favor of continuing concessions for the convenience of our guests. Quinn Davis works for the beach, and she did bring up in her comment about the large cooler that's there. It is a Pepsi container, very large. Apparently, a person in the previous commission had looked into possibly disposing of that piece of equipment and said that that cooler actually belongs to the Pepsi company and that you could not just, and so at that time, I think they brought up, is that correct, Commissioner Carl, of saying to Pepsi, come and get your item. And I don't know if they heard anything back or if they pursued it. What the staff had felt at that time was that it made a very good storage container because it kept the mice and that's in the guard shack out of the things that we have stored in there, including the items for concession that were the snack items and that. So, you know, I would be in favor if we were thinking of doing a different thing. We could try to see if it does work. I've never heard anybody say it didn't work.
Oh, you mean the equipment?
The big Pepsi cooler.
Pepsi cooler.
I don't know. Commissioner Hutchins.
It did work, and it worked so good because we didn't have much in it. It cost so dang much to run it.
Right.
And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna investigate how we ended up with a Pepsi cooler. And I think I know how we ended up.
I think
with
I think I
Pepsi.
know how too.
So I'm gonna research that, and I'll come back and make my report to the manager. We'll discuss that later.
I wish you could report to us, please.
Okay.
I'm gonna do some detective work,
Okay.
yeah.
Well, that'll be interesting because in all the things that I've heard about, I never heard that. So
Well,
it'll be interesting.
I think we're looking the back of it to see if Jimmy Hoff is in there.
Oh, good.
But as far as concessions for the beach currently, how would the commission like for us to proceed? Because our beach is opening tomorrow. I don't think that we can wait for a month to come back again on making a decision. I know that in speaking with the staff today, that one person had gone on like Marketplace and said that she was able to find a used refrigerator for like $200. In previous looking at Costco, I did see a smaller refrigerator, not like dorm size or anything. It was
A little
and
bigger.
that ran $250 to $300 depending on, they were not what we consider name brands, but they were offered through Costco. So I would be open to pursuing other things as long as we are not looking at ice and that cooler again.
So does the refrigerator, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Okay. Does the refrigerator, are we looking for an ice machine maker?
Nope.
Ice machine in this? Are we doing the ice?
I don't think that we are necessarily looking at ice, but something that would be big enough to hold a decent amount of water and just regular pops.
Okay.
That kind of thing, and Gatorade. They did
Beverages.
specifically say Gatorade was a popular addition.
I have a comment, but I'd like to hear from the commission. Any comments, Commissioner Hutchins?
One thing about used refrigerators, the newer ones are only good for 4 years. My neighbor's a scrapper. And that's all I see him loading up is refrigerators, stoves, side-by-sides, refrigerators. So I would steer away from buying a used one.
Okay?
That's why I would look at, because, $200 for a used refrigerator, yeah. What, never look a gift horse in the mouth. So,
I have one I'll donate.
Oh,
ooh,
How old is it?
It worked when I unplugged it, but it's at Tucker Road. It's sitting in the way.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll let you know if there's a sticker on it, and I'll plug it in to see if it works. But you can have it.
that's how we ended up with a lot of things.
Well, this you don't have to investigate.
Yeah,
It works.
yeah.
thank you.
But we may have to dispose, so we need that policy.
I know.
What refrigerator?
Okay, so I'm gonna be the downer here, and I have to explain why. Obviously, I am just one vote commissioned, but I saw what happened last year on the first year we did this concession stand. We had very little people come in on a daily basis that wanted to purchase any of these items. It was a lot of work for the manager to go try to get some of these materials, for lack of a better word, the chips, the candy, that sort of thing. She had to go all over the place to make sure that we could get a decent price for them. That took her time. When the ice came, I donated all the ice myself. It's over $100 that I paid. It didn't include time, cost for my gas, none of that. And very expensive. So obviously, if you go along with this, then the refrigerator, regardless, I think would be a good idea. But I personally, from what I saw on a day-to-day basis, hardly anyone purchased any chips, any candy, any pop, certainly not water. Most people brought their own water. The thing that I did see sell, if anything, were the Faygo Pop. I saw that, and maybe some Gatorade, especially the blue one, I think. But it was very, very, very limited. I would not recommend that we proceed on this. This is just my personal opinion, just based on what I saw. Yes.
Was there like an inventory?
We
sold
ended
this
up,
many?
we started with that. We allowed the staff to partake at least one drink and one bag of chips or candy, whichever, per day. So that's where most of it, and that's fine. I have no qualms with that, please know that. But after the season ended, I mean, you saw we had lots of stuff left over. And I don't recommend that we do this. I apologize. I just don't think it's going to work. And then, of course, even if we get the refrigerator, obviously there will be additional cost of electricity. I don't know how much that will be, but that'll be something that we'll have to consider. I know that we would like to make some things readily available to our residents, and I see that. But based on what I saw last year, I don't see it. With all due respect, I just don't see it. But I could be wrong. Maybe this year it'll be better. But and that's fine. Okay. Any other comments or questions? Yes, Commissioner Hutchins.
This year's weather forecast is for a super El Nino, which is going to be hotter and drier than ever before. So I would say, start out small with the stuff. Fagel, we know what's sold, Fagel Pops and some different chips. We don't have to be Holly Foods. But give them some basics. Here's what we got for sale. Here's a bag of chips or these, and here's the pop we get. Red Pop is the hot item usually.
Well, I appreciate you saying that, because that reflects what the staff also said, is that there were specific things that were very popular, and to stick to those items, not be selling candy this year. So I think and last year was the first year that I was involved in doing it.
Yep.
So I'll know that as we get closer to the end of the season, that I just don't buy as much, and if we run out, we run out.
Yeah, that's
But,
it.
yeah, so.
I was down there a lot last summer, trying to grow grass 3 times.
And it
finally-
worked.
I know it. Third time was the charm, so I spent a lot of time down there dragging the beach and watering the grass.
Yes. And our prices were much more reasonable, you would think, because I would hear the people that would go, oh, this is a lot less than if I go to the store. And I thought, well, yeah, come and get it here. But no, I didn't
But
see
the
it.
other part of it is, once we have the website up, we can advertise that. If people aren't necessarily expecting that, then you might not get as many people buying it if they did bring their own. But if they know it's there,
The other thing to consider too is that Holly Rec is going to be closed. So the staff even is anticipating that we might get an increase in number of people coming.
Oh,
Also, Seven Lakes doesn't have a lot of trees.
Actually, there was a call that I got just this past week
they're planning.
from a person who had called in and asking about our beach, because she said that Holly Rec was closed and she does not care for Seven Lakes.
Yeah.
Oh.
And so she was looking for an alternative.
Or another local park that's real close to us, because there's not much shade. We won't have to mention no names.
Okay, all right, you all convinced me, okay? But I would respectfully ask that you would consider some of the comments that were made by the commission, Madam Manager, and that is keep it limited to the items that we have, and if we run out, we run out, okay? Because time is of the essence, and I respect the opinion of the commission and the staff. So I'm gonna change my mind. Y'all convinced me. So with that, because there is some money associated with this, any other questions?
The only thing is, it says $800, including the cost of a refrigerator. What would you think? Do we have to reduce that to 500, or we just won't exceed 800? We don't have to worry about a refrigerator.
That's right.
What do you guys want to do?
Oh, that's right. That was with we estimated the refrigerator would cost at least $250.
Yeah, something.
But since we got a free one,
What is that little black one in there?
it's a portable refrigerator, but the staff uses that, I believe.
Yeah.
For your personal?
Mhm.
Okay, so it's not,
When
Usable
people
for
bring in
commission.
like their own drinks or lunch,
Yeah.
because it's a long shift if you don't have anything.
I got it, okay.
So you want to leave the amount at 800?
We could bring it down to 5.
And I'd like to scratch then, including the cost of the refrigerator,
You better hope it works.
because Jeff
Well,
is
I
so
was just
nice.
gonna say, is that contingent on the fact that Commissioner Carl's
Well, we'll have to come
refrigerator
back if it
works?
doesn't
After
work.
this meeting,
You'll have
I'm
to
going
come
home,
back.
I'm gonna plug it in, I'll let you know.
If it doesn't work, you'll come back and we'll get the refrigerator. Oh, okay. You want to leave it at 8?
Well, why don't we just leave it as it stands there?
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, knowing
It
that.
better work.
Yeah, I'm sure it does.
Okay. All right, then we will leave it at that number. All right. Madam Secretary, please call the row.
Wright,
Aye.
Hutchins.
Yes.
Carl,
Yes.
DeSessa,
You convinced me. Okay, yes.
Earl, yes, we have,
Okay.
that motion passed.
Okay. Okay, moving on to item number C, my favorite one. Approve a budget amendment in the amount of $2,373 to address contract costs for Civic Plus. This is for the contract that starts May 21st, 2026, ends May 28th, 2027. These funds will be taken from account number 208-000-984. This is the improvements, Part 2, and move to account 208-000-881, and this is Community Promotions website. So we had some savings in the improvement park because we're not completing that project. We're doing the engineering study first. Once we get that, so we had some savings there. That's why you see some savings on that area. And we're going to take some funds, a total of $2,373, and move it up to cover the costs of the website. And I believe that came, we budgeted $6,000, and we've done an additional $2,373 in order to meet that contract cost. Any comments or questions? Oh, first, do I hear a motion to approve this item?
I make that motion to approve a budget amendment in the amount of $2373 to address contract costs for Civic Plus for the contract from May 29th through May 28th, 26th through 27. And the funds will be taken from account 208000984 and moved to account 208000881.
Is there a,
I support that.
okay, supported by Commissioner Carl. Comments, questions? Okay.
Let's get moving. Would be
All
my
right,
comment.
let's get moving, it's done. Okay, Madam Secretary, please call the roll.
Right.
Aye.
Hutchins.
Yes.
Carl.
Yes.
DeSessa.
Yes.
Earl, yes. That motion is passed.
Wow, that has to be the fastest.
Isn't that something?
Well, we've discussed this so many times, so we just couldn't do it when we had that time, but here we are. Okay. So now moving on to item number D. This is a new item that was a new motion. And the best that I got, and I'll ask Commissioner Wright to read it over one more time, but this concerns the MML's workers' compensation plan. Commissioner.
This would be 8D.
8D.
Motion to approve the renewal of the Michigan Municipal League Workers' Compensation Fund at the cost of $1,053, including a dividend credit of $1,119 applied to this year's renewal premium.
Okay, is that a motion, Commissioner Wright? Do you wish to make that motion?
I make that motion.
Okay, is there a support?
Support.
Supported by Commissioner Hutchins. Comments, questions? Madam Manager, is there anything else you'd like to say on this?
Not really. I had been in touch with Max Wolfgang. He is the fund underwriter for the Workers' Compensation Fund. Again, we are longtime participating with this fund, and it did offer that dividend of $1,119 that is being applied to the current premium.
Excellent.
So with that, our current premium comes to $1,053.
Very good. Any comments or questions from the commission? No? Okay. Madam Secretary, roll call, please.
Right.
Aye.
Hutchins.
Yes.
DeSessa.
Yes.
Carl.
Yes.
Earl, yes. That motion is passed.
You're so mean.
It was my baton.
I saw that.
It happens. Okay. We have to have a little fun at these meetings. Okay, so now moving on to item number 9, reports. We will start with staff report.
Hold on, we have an E.
Oh, do we have an E? Oh,
We do.
I forgot about your E, that's right, I'm sorry, I didn't write it down. So item number E, and that deals with discuss and approve coordination of parking with the Village of Holly parks. And can I add one more to this? And this is for the 4th of July event, is that correct?
July 3rd.
Yeah,
Or July
actually,
3rd? July 3rd
July
event?
3 event,
Mhm.
yeah.
Okay. Oh, right, is that okay? Is there a motion? Can I hear a motion from Commissioner Carl on this
Yeah, I
item?
motion.
Okay. Is there a support?
Support.
Supported by Commissioner Wright. All right, so this item, just to be clear, I apologize, item number E, thank you. And this is, again, to discuss the parking with the Village of Holly. And in this point, I'm just suggesting July 3rd. Okay? All right. Motion has been made and supported. Comments, questions on this? Commissioners? Or,
Comment? Sure.
yeah, you want to start?
I voiced this last meeting. Again, we're allowing free parking for July 3, and just around the corner, they're coordinating a donation for next year's activities, next year's fireworks. It doesn't sound right. I want to ask Commissioner Hutchins, in the past, did we donate $500 towards, so
We
there,
can't do that anymore.
500, there's another reason that, we participate, and get involved in the donation process for next year. Maybe we don't have to get involved in donating $500.
The biggest thing is we have, for community development, we've done it for years. I think at one time it was up to $1,000 for fireworks and different things. We donated money to the fireworks committee for Holly.
We
We
have a
did
budget for that.
Yeah, yeah.
Is it $700?
Yep.
Community Promotion Beach?
Yep.
$728.
And that's what we used to use to donate for the fireworks. And we never charged for parking.
And
It's-
why did you stop? Why did you stop
Stop what?
giving the donation? There was a reason.
I don't know. I didn't think we ever stopped giving the donation.
We did, there's a reason, and the reason is, so is this an event that we are co-sponsoring? Because we cannot use tax dollars to give to another entity.
Well, that's when we used to co-sponsor like Halloween and anything else like Holly Days. If we were gonna donate to that, we used to do that.
So are you saying that we need to co-sponsor these?
We should, if we're going to donate, we have to do that, but if we don't, then it would be in violation of the Budget Act, where we cannot just give money to another governmental entity as a donation, because these are tax dollars.
Right.
We don't do that,
And
cannot
so-
do that.
Commissioner Carl, were you suggesting, when you said coordination of the parking, were you thinking maybe to co-sponsor? Or are you just saying like
I wasn't inferring
Dynamic.
that at all. I just think it's silly. Like from here to the grass, they're collecting money. And if somebody said, back up and pull into ours, it's free. I think it makes sense to coordinate efforts. We got 2 parking facilities. Let's get together on it and make it look like we're all in support of collecting money for next year's event.
Well, that's something that we'll have to speak with the village to see if they're willing to make us a co-sponsor, because we can't.
I had a conversation with one person, and she was, that would be great. And she invited me to their last meeting. I couldn't make it. She may have discussed it, I don't know. But I'm sure she was like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Well, so I'm sorry. let you
I'm
first.
sorry, one question. The fireworks are put on by the village, or is it
The village,
it is the village?
the village.
They fund it, but, it's donation canisters around
Yeah.
town. And
I
everything
didn't know
else.
if it was the Friends of Holly Fireworks
No,
or anything of that
tax dollars are
nature.
used to do that, and majority of the funds come from the taxes.
Okay.
As a former village manager, I know that, yes.
They have a regular fireworks commission, or not commission, but group.
Group.
They used to go to all the businesses and have donation cans. But a lot of people don't sit there throwing in $1 or $2, so that's why the fireworks kept getting more expensive and we got less of them. And that's why we're sitting there on the 3rd of July, is because we're not a big display.
Right.
So we're small potatoes.
Yeah.
But still, every year the price of fireworks goes up, and price of donations goes down. And we used to take our donations and we had our donation can, and we used to give that to we were co-sponsors of the fireworks. We'd give our donations, usually $100, $200 plus whatever else we allocate in our budget for the fireworks. Because it got to be so costly. And, you know, it's a big thing here in this town, fireworks on the 3rd of July.
It's just that the Budget Act does not allow another government entity to give a donation to another government.
Yes, and that's why we co-sponsored.
Yes.
We were listed as a co-sponsor.
Right. So we could look into that. Now, having said that, and I see another person in this room who we dealt with parking last year, it was a mess at our site. It was, people were parking behind cars, so they couldn't move. And even after the event, people just parked all over the place. And so this year, I was speaking with the manager, when we look at that event for this year, I think we're going to have to spend a little bit more time on the parking side, even for us, because it was very, very concerning. I mean, poor Quinn had to stand there with me, and we had to go speak to some people to ask them to maybe move, and then we had to direct traffic to get people to be able to leave early. You know, you remember that? That was a lot of fun, and I'm being facetious. So we're going to have to take a look at parking the way we do it this year, whether we charge or not. I know that some folks don't want to charge because, well, it's their part, you know.
Yeah, can we do that?
Well, we can charge for parking, but there has to be a reason for it. It can go to pay for the employees, you know, that we utilize, or for costs, any costs that are associated. We can hire a company, you know, to do the parking for us.
You know, back to the motion, one, I meant it to, because it looks foolish. Park here for free, go over there, they're gonna ask you for a donation. Relative to the parking issue, I think if we have 2 attendants at each opening, then we control. Let's determine, we got parking for 150 cars, let's say. And with coordination, we limit that. Once we hit 150, it's no more.
Well,
And we
that's-
keep them away from the gate where the emergency vehicle, you know, we control all that. Otherwise, if we don't put people out there, we have no control.
Well, it's easier said than done, okay? I've been there, done that, at least I did it 1 year, and it's not that easy, okay?
Well, I'm just trying to avoid what you just spoke of.
I know.
Asking people to move their car. I mean,
I know.
well, how do you find them? I mean,
I
they're in the
know.
park.
I know. I mean, that's why we had those T-shirts, so that people could know that we're park staff, to give some sort of indication. But people are people, and, you know, they will park wherever. And I'm sorry, you know.
They
it's-
certainly will if you don't have people there.
Well, even if
It has
there
to be a
are.
free-for-all.
Well, let's hope that changes, but it was very bad last year, and I don't want to do that again.
Excuse me.
But I do agree that we should pay more attention this year. Commissioner Hutchins? Yes.
I've been down there for years. It takes 4 people minimum to manage the parking lot. One at the 2 ins and outs, and other people to go around, make sure that fool doesn't park behind 3 other cars. So it takes 4 people at the height of the whole thing.
I can see
About
that.
2 o'clock on, 4 people.
Well, minimally 2, but I can see your point with 4.
Two don't do it. We tried it before.
Well, it governs who's coming in, but it doesn't satisfy the parking alignment. I get that.
Yeah.
So anyway, so obviously we cannot just charge a fee just for anything. As a park commission, there has to be a purpose or reason, and it has to be justified. I can see that as a justification. But as far as donating anything to the village, I think we need to take a look at that a little bit differently. And just remember, when we co-sponsor something, that means we co-sponsor anything and everything that happens at that event. So our insurance will be taken into consideration when we sponsor these mega events. And I don't think there'll be a big issue, with all due respect. I mean, I think we can handle that. But again, our liability grows when we do stuff like this. Okay, it's not that simple, not in today's world.
You
I'm
know,
sorry.
if you consider that though,
Mhm.
I think in this thing, it does specifically mention fireworks.
Mhm.
So that might be something we need, if you're considering that, as you just said, if we take one portion of it and we have to be responsible for another
We
portion,
do. Mhm.
that could affect this.
Oh, yes.
No.
So,
The other thing is, our parking lot is public property. It's public. The street is public. And when the village does Lakeside Park, they go up the street and park, and they also open up the back end of the cemetery and park people up there on the lawn. But the thing is,
Still parking.
this is
Still
for,
public.
to pay for the fireworks. It's still public property.
Still public.
Downtown, there's no parking meters, it's free for everybody. And we have people right now that park in our parking lot overnight, locally, and we can't charge them for parking because it's public land. It's public parking.
I think we can, but we need to take the proper steps to do that. We have to justify why there's a fee. But, you know, I mean, all the roads are public, you know, we still pay taxes on that. And if we're gonna do something else on it, then we just need to explain to the public what we're doing.
If we're charging and making charges for parking on a public street, there's gotta be a legitimate
Yes,
thing.
that's what I
And
said.
if-
Justification.
knowing the laws, something might not be quite legitimate. You know what I'm saying? Ooh,
I
you
think-
know, the gray areas.
The gray areas, I concur.
can I ask though, so if you're suggesting that we have 4 people minimum to manage the parking, I can tell you that when I was looking at the schedule just 2 days ago, it's possible that we will only have 4 people each shift for the entire day. You know, we're looking at noon until like 4 until end, whatever. You're gonna have the majority of the staff in the parking lot, as opposed to being in the beach
In the beach
area
area.
supervising what's going on there.
Yeah.
So I just want to make sure with the commission, is that how you want the staff to be used?
Now, if you look at why
That's a
we
good
could
point.
do that, is back in the day, we had lifeguards, quite a few lifeguards. We had more of a beach staff. So usually it was all hands on deck for the 4th of July. Everybody had to show up for work. Some of the commissioners had to show up for work, volunteers and stuff. We had 10 to 12 people running on the beach at all times.
So that
And
was.
that was after we shut the water down too. We kept everybody working.
So that's kind of what my next comment was going to be, is, I mean, I think we're gonna have to ask the commissioners to maybe, you know, take some turns and consider taking some of this, because the staff, we need staff at the park. That's gonna be a must, and if we have a concession area, there are gonna be people there. And, so.
Usually the crowd starts about 2 o'clock, 2:30. But as it gets closer to fireworks, like 7, 8 o'clock, that's when it really gets crazy. Yep.
Well, Commissioner, the manager will not be available that day. She has some special time that she's requested. And so I do plan on being there. So I will be there the whole day, like
I'll
I
be
was
there.
last year. Okay.
I'll be there as well.
All right, and Commissioner Wright. Okay, so we have Commissioner Carl, Commissioner Wright, Commissioner DeSessa, Hutchins, you could be there?
If I'm still alive.
Shush. So you will be there. I'm gonna put your name on that list. We'll ask the manager to come up with some times, and maybe we can have one of us and one staff, like that, maybe perhaps, okay?
Well, the biggest thing is,
If we can.
last year, we have a liability of maintaining a thoroughfare through the double gates for an ambulance. And last year,
God,
it was a zoo.
It
I mean,
was.
there was people triple parked. They just stopped, and park anywhere, get out of their cars.
yes,
Yeah, so it was really
That was
bad
bad.
last year.
That's why we put the yellow tape from the bike racks.
okay, we'll work on that. Okay, so, 1, 2, 3, 4, so,
So we don't have our manager. Do we have someone that's gonna supervise?
I'm gonna, as the chair,
Okay.
I will take that responsibility.
Can I ask how many people from like 7 o'clock on would be staff?
I'll ask you to be second, okay?
I believe that there's 4 at least.
4 staff,
Mhm.
and we have
4?
2,
1, 2,
3,
4.
4, so we could have 8. Okay,
But that's for the entire beach too,
Mhm.
right? All the stuff that's going on there.
The parking and the beach, yeah.
While we're discussing parking too, it's no fireworks, no sparklers.
Oh, that's right,
Yep.
thank you. It's not for discussion this
No.
item, so, but we will discuss
Yeah,
that.
because that's what we always did. Sparklers burn at 1,200 degrees.
Oh, yeah, yeah. So even though as your chair, if you guys don't mind, I'll sort of act as the person,
The
key person,
facilitator.
facilitator, there you
Okay.
go. But I'll ask, he's gonna look at me nasty, as the vice chair, to assist, please. Okay.
We used to have a
He
standing
was
rule.
tremendous.
We used to have a standing rule for Easter egg hunt, or any of our Halloween or anything else. If a commissioner couldn't make it, you had to get a replacement. Whether it's your aunt or your neighbor kid, and we say, make sure you tell that person to check in with our manager so she can scratch it off the list that Joe's replacement was Sam or whatever else. So that was a standing rule for years because nobody showed up. So that's what our standing rule.
Sorry, I can't stay any longer.
Nope,
Guys-
that's
guys
okay.
are long-winded.
Oh, you haven't seen
Bye,
anything
Lorraine,
yet.
thank you.
Did I say that? Are there staff, do you want every 8 people with staff shirts so the public knows that they got,
So when I did ask the staff at a recent meeting what their feelings were about the staff shirts,
yeah?
they were not in favor of continuing. I mean, some of them still have the shirts, and they would be willing, I think, to use them for that specific day.
Mhm.
But as far as ordering new shirts, I don't think anybody was in favor of continuing that. I think it was,
We had
200
badges,
I'm
too.
guessing it was like $245 or something like that.
Yeah, and we had badges also that we
I
put.
feel like it's something on your back, like if you have a
Yeah.
vest, orange vest, something that one over there, you're gonna drive your car over to that orange vest right over there,
Yeah,
kind of thing.
safety vests,
Safety vest.
yeah. Follow directions.
Yeah.
We'll let you in, but they'll show you where to park.
Let's
It's
look
gotta
at,
be controlled.
Let's look at getting some safety vests,
Okay.
and maybe we could all wear a white t-shirt or something that we have, or
Well,
black.
any time that our maintenance crew is working in the park, they should have a safety vest on, so if somebody wants their help, they're out, Mel's out cutting trees, or Zach's out there, they can go to that person and say, hey, you work here, here's what's going on. So that's what the safety vest usually is good for.
Okay.
I think that apparel is appropriate for staff. I
Okay.
wouldn't put it in their hands.
All right, commissioners, can we
They're
stay,
hired staff.
stay on this item now? I know we've talked about a couple of other things that deal with this issue, but we're done parking now, and I know that's semi-related, but,
I don't know what we
right, so
discussed or what we approved.
we haven't,
It's only discussion, I guess.
it's just a discussion. Yep, and we've not taken any action. I think, based on what I've heard from everybody, we need to do a little bit more work on this item, and we need to work with the village to see if we can, because I think everybody here, if we can help in any way, we would like to. We just need to make sure that we do this correctly.
Right, with the insurance, checking on our
Yes,
insurance.
yes,
everything.
checking all that. Okay. All right, thank you all. Let's move right along. So item number 9A, staff reports. Madam Manager.
Thank you. We have had a really busy time. One of the things that got accomplished just this week, we had Garage Force come in. Adam Sprague did the chip applying in the bathrooms, men's and women's, and by everybody who has seen it, they gave him rave reviews. In the women's bathroom, we chose more of a tan color to kind of go with the sand, because people coming up from the beach will be walking right in there. We did have a bonus of putting a little bit of glitter in there, so if you see that, there it is actually a little bit. And then in the men's bathroom, we went kind of with a gray-blue to kind of match the exterior of the building, and the stalls are going to be a medium blue in there. So that was a bonus. We are in the process of painting the insides of the bathrooms at the beach, and we will be installing 2 toilets, one each in the men's and women's, that appear to be more ADA compliant. They're the taller chair size toilets that I think will be easier for most of our guests to use. In the women's restroom, we did leave one of the low toilets just for the children to use. And today and a previous day, we had the staff, wonderful job by our staff doing the cleanup at the beach. It was a very warm day today, and they were very active and were able to get a lot done, and I tremendously appreciate all that they did, both the first day and the second day. So far, I do believe that we're going to have enough staff through the summer. I'm hoping that we'll be able to adequately distribute the hours to what people want. It does appear that more people prefer the earlier shift, and so we will see as we go through the season how we're going to be able to adjust correctly with that. The other thing is that we did have an issue recently with our well. In the past, we have had issues where around the same time in the summer, where because we don't use our water enough to keep the water in the system flushed correctly all the time, we would get bacteria built up. So this time with Oakland County Health Department, when the sample that I brought in came back with bacteria, they even suggested that we have the well pulled and to have a well driller actually look at the contents of the well. Commissioner Hutchins had stated that he did not feel that the well had ever been properly pulled and examined. So we did invite Ray's well drilling, Ray Houts, I think it is, came out and he pulled the well. And he did find that there was one section at, I think, the bottom of the well that did have kind of a blackish green color, which he said was not expected. He always expects like rust type thing, but he did not expect that, and he gave it a thorough flushing where he would pull the water up and then push it down, and did that multiple times, and that was more to break up any solids and that had accumulated at the bottom of the well to make sure that everything was cleared. So they did that, and then he also chlorinated our well, and so now it was flushed, and we have run multiple times the hose outside to make sure that our system is clear. And on Monday of this week, I did take a sample into Oakland County, and today I did get a call from Emily, our contact, and she said that she had gotten the results and they were clear. So that is a good thing. Tomorrow she is going to come again and take a special sample, and we're going to turn that in. And then if that were to come back clear, then we can go back to our normal once-a-month monitoring.
Excellent.
And I don't see any reason that we would not have that happen.
Right.
So the other thing I will say, and I did include this in an email, I believe, to the commission, is that when Ray from Ray's Well Drilling did come out, he had been up in the attic and was working up there, and he stated, and after having talked to Emily with the Oakland County Health, and the fact that most of our issues occur either at this point in the summer or even later in the summer when it's even hotter, that he had thought that possibly putting a vent with a fan up in the attic and then a secondary vent on the lower portion of the attic would be able to draw and remove some of the heat from up there, so that our attic, our tank for our well is actually up in the attic. And that he felt that because that is sitting in that really hot conditions, that it might be more prone to bacteria building up even in the tank itself. So that was his suggestion. And so I'm just presenting that to you, and we'll see how this sample tomorrow comes back, and I'll report to you how that works out. We do have a few things coming up. We are going to participate, and I think I mentioned this last month, we're going to participate with Holly area schools. 3 times during the summer, they do a book distribution to students. 2 of them, well, actually, they are going to do both at Holly L and at one of the manufactured home communities out in White Lake. And so we are going to participate in June and August at Holly L in the mornings. We're going to bring our cornhole games and our structures with the bean bags, and we're going to participate in that way. And then in the July one, we'll be going to the manufactured home community in White Lake and participating with that. We actually also were invited to participate with, I think it's the Holly Area Youth Coalition, maybe,
Yeah, I
who
think that sounds right.
does the enrollment and health fair through the schools, and that comes in August. So we had done that previously in collaboration with Blue Heron Headwaters Conservancy. They had brought a game, we had brought candy, and we had a list of activities that we were doing at the time, and put that out for the public, and it was well received. There were a lot of people who participated, so we'll be doing that. And then also with the Holly Area Enrichment, Community Enrichment, I think it's called. That's through the Sherman Middle School campus. They're going to be having that. Kind of on the order of like what a lot of other programs do with like adult ed and things like that. So they're going to be having more activities going on there. And so as Holly Township Parks, we're going to be collaborating with them as well on that. And then my last thing is that I recently attended a meeting with Oakland County Parks SISMA, which we know is on pause for this year. But they are making plans already for the following year. And so I went to participate in that and have spoken to Patrick Kniff and told him that we would be interested in participating with SISMA going forward. And I'm going to be in touch with him also because they are looking for more members to participate in their board and that. So we'll see if anything comes of that, but yep, so we're keeping going, and I'm hoping that once we complete some of these infrastructure issues like the bathroom and possibly the roof in July, those kind of things, that we can get back into more programming and that, so we can
Yeah, that'd be great.
provide activities for our residents, so.
Anything else?
I think that's it.
Okay, very good. So let's move right along to the commission. Let's start with Commissioner Earl this time? Gotcha. Any comments, any reports?
I guess I had the opportunity to walk through the beach with manager, and I just happened to see your car there, and so I swung in and was able to see the bathrooms, and just very excited for the whole thing to open and for the public to see all the wonderful updates when we get those completed. And I guess that's it. I just wanted to thank you for all the work that you're doing on this and coordinating it all, and I'm just happy for that. That's it.
Okay, very good. Commissioner Carl?
I have a few things, yes.
Okay.
And one, I wanted to address Quinn. You spoke earlier. Did any of your questions get answered relative to the freezer, cooler? Are you still in question of why we aren't doing something within the beach house relative to the cooler, or?
Can you come to the mic so that it can be recorded, please? Thank you. Sorry, Quinn, don't make to put you on.
I'm good.
Okay,
All right, good.
thank you.
And then a phase 2 update on, we're still, I know you've reached out to the engineering company, and do we have input feedback? Do we have a tentative start date?
No, what I did hear from Steve Sutton, he is our contact with NF Engineers, and he did get back to me saying that they were going to put us in their schedule. He did not give me an actual date. And then also I had sent him an email after I had spoken to the person who owns the property to our east, that there was that question about the survey, and just spoke to him
Couple days ago.
yeah, I think it was the end of last week, maybe, where he stated that his previous concern was that when he was looking at his app on his phone, he saw the smoke going by when it was the prescribed burn day. And so he was really concerned about some items he had on his property. And so when I brought up about the survey, he said that he's not as concerned about like disc golfers going after a disc that got away from them or things like that. So he did not feel that it was necessary at this point that we pursue that individual line survey. And I did send Steve Sutton a comment about that so that we're not holding up the process waiting on that survey.
I guess relative to phase 2, again, we were so critical in making sure that we didn't interfere with now fall Little League, and it's like we're going to have to sit down again to make this happen. So I think maybe we have to push them if we have to fit our schedule, not necessarily theirs, because we've got other commitments.
Madam Manager, you might want to call them again and
Okay.
remind them of the commitments that we've done for the.
At least,
for the Little
here's
League.
our Little League schedule, and we can't, with little kids, we can't,
Right.
everything needs to be coordinated.
Well, I think though, if I'm correct, that we were going to have the actual work hopefully done after Little League's fall season, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
First is the engineer's report, and then the actual, we gotta go out and find contractors, and that can take time too,
Okay,
all right?
yep.
I just hope it gets done this year.
I do too.
Yeah.
I'm confident that it will, at
Yeah.
least the plan, yes.
And I also want to comment to my reaction to our master plan and the fear of high cost. Probably everyone knows I put the ropes out at the beach. It pains me now. I had to reduce our beach again. We're probably have eliminated at least a third of our swim area that we used to have. And I dislike too, putting the ropes out and having to walk through muck and weeds up to my knees. It's disturbing, and I can't imagine any public swimmer having to endure that. The answer would be to probably reduce the swim area to a distance as long as this building. We can probably go out, but I only went up to my shoulder. So let's say the ropes were 5 feet. But that's, if something isn't done, picture what's going to happen, what our beach is going to look like, what our swimming area is going to be. It's going to be diminished. The park might look beautiful, but the actual swim area is going to be as long as this building. Okay?
Okay.
And it needs attention. All right. The biggest thing I wanted to talk about, maybe the most important to me, is the PFAS situation. And I took a moment to kind of examine this, and I'm going to pass it out. If you would pass those down. And I actually, let me make my point right up front. I'm not saying that perhaps the water doesn't have PFAS. I was surprised to learn that my fairly new hex-clad cookware has PFAS in it. I'm disturbed about that. So again, I'm not saying that the water doesn't contain PFAS. In a prior conversation, you said it was tested, but I think it had 2 points or something you said in the water, but it wasn't at critical levels, if I...
True.
Okay. So I went on the internet, and the pictures that you're seeing is PFAS, and I'd like you to note the difference of this versus what we have at the beach. This is clearly a pure white substance, and the article that's attached talks about that people call the Department of Environmental Great Lake, which is EGLE, saying that they've got foam. And it says that this foam is the natural degradation of plant life, seaweed, in the water. So I think we've misdiagnosed what this foam is. And if the answer is we invest in a water sample, which I saw on Amazon for $300 to $500, maybe we do that. But again, if our levels of PFAS within the water themselves are not at critical levels, I don't think that we should be portraying the message to the public of fear. One, PFAS in this foam doesn't penetrate the skin instantly. It's according to the environmentalists in the health department, we shouldn't have concern. However, they say, look, if it bothers you, make sure you shower afterwards.
The biggest concern is ingestion, right? Getting it into your mouth and that, so that's mainly addressed as far as that with children.
I get it, but my
Yeah.
point is, I don't find that this natural, more of a, I don't call it foam, it's more of a suds versus foam. In one example, they call it like shave cream. And what we have emerging on the sand level is far from shave cream. It's more of a Dawn dish soap suds. And I think it's been misdiagnosed, is my point. I mean, in the 1960s, I was at Higgins Lake. We had a cabin, probably one of the finest, cleanest lakes in Michigan, spring-fed, and this suds was on the beach, and I doubt that lake in 1960 had PFAS.
Well,
I can't prove it, but at contaminated levels, I don't think so, and I think it behooves us to look into this further and not broadcast scare tactics at the beach and close the beach just because we've got suds that we don't really know what it is.
well, it's not 100%. But I don't believe that we promote it as something, drastic, or, we just tell people, if you see it, stay away from it, don't touch it.
That's
don't-
fine.
Don't swallow
But-
it.
But we have closed the beach
When,
due to
when
this.
when the foam is excessive. If it's just a little bit of foam, no, but if it gets,
I beg your
a
pardon.
big
I
amount.
think closing the beach when we don't know that that's necessary is out of bounds. We serve the public.
We
And it's
do.
80 degrees, and we're gonna close the beach because we've got an unknown foam/bubbles floating up on the sand, which could be a natural,
But what if it's not?
well, I just said, let's test.
I know, I'm just saying.
Let's
but
get
it's-
professional.
I do feel like it's our obligation to provide a safe place.
Yes.
So I think we need to err on the
Let's
side of
find out
caution.
if it's a problem, if it's harmful. Just acting on a whim that we think it is not serving the public.
well, okay, respectfully, I don't think we're acting on a whim. I think we're looking at, based on some information that we have besides this information, that it can cause some harm. We've received reports to that effect.
You know, you're the one that said we need facts.
We
I'm
do.
saying we don't have facts.
Oh. Okay. All right, we will look into it. I agree.
Perfect. That's
Okay.
all I ask.
Thank you, Commissioner. We will look into that and see if there's any further. Good, okay. We will, and we'll come back on that. All right.
Perfect.
Mhm. Anything else?
That's it. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, sir. All righty, Commissioner Hudson?
One comment about Higgins Lake. I know a lot about Higgins Lake. There's scrap logs in the bottom of Higgins Lake from the lumber mills from 150 years ago. And people buy buy the right to bring those logs up and salvage them. It's 120 feet plus on the north end of Higgins Lake.
One
If you
portion,
dive
okay.
down there, there's a 20-foot wall of septic sludge in the bottom of Higgins Lake. Higgins Lake isn't the cleanest lake, it's the purtiest lake in the state of Michigan, that and Torch Lake. So that's a misnomer about that. Yeah. That much, that's why Houghton Lake, I never ate fish out of it.
I wouldn't
It
either.
was, it's shallow and it was just an open septic tank. So, yeah. I talked to Mary about, the tanks upstairs. There's 2 tanks. One's water ballast. The other one's our water heater. As far as I know, that's the original water heater up there. And I'm gonna take Mel up there and show him how to shut it down and drain it. Because that could also be another place we're having problems with stuff breeding.
Yeah, they did mention that. Yeah.
Does that get flushed?
No.
Often? No.
As far as I know, we never have.
Ooh.
Yeah, and that's, I'm pretty sure, usually when I install a water heater or furnace, I put on there the date I put it in. That way you can go, oh. You're supposed to drain water tanks every 6 months. But you gotta do it right, because if you don't turn the gas off, she'll create steam and it could blow. So I'm gonna show Mel how to drain the water heater. And we'll see if it's got a lot of lime in it. We don't need a big water heater no more. It was set up as a commercial operation. We need to get by with a small water heater. Electric, less costly. Yeah, because that thing's just up there percolating away. Yep. That's all I have to report.
Okay, very good. Commissioner Ray?
I won't take long. I know we're working
I know
on
it's 8:33.
a 2-hour meeting right now. So I'm just gonna make my remarks brief. I put in each of your packets a draft of the survey that I've come up with. Wasn't not quite sure why we weren't able to discuss it during the master plan item. Before anyone gets all out on arms or whatever, this entire survey is not the entire survey everybody will view, okay? Using Microsoft Forms, we can use branching and allow people to contribute as much as or as little as they want. So they can select the minimum amount, it take about 5 minutes to go through. The maximum amount is a 236 question survey. So I think that is something that I heard from the commission that they were concerned with about the length of the survey and the amount of time it will take people to go through. So it's up to the person whether or not they want to go through the entire survey. I tried to be as comprehensive as I could, and all I would ask is if you take a look at it and go forward from there, maybe next meeting, I guess.
Okay. We'll put
That'd be it?
Just so everybody knows, I did check with Commissioner Wright. If people start into the long form, they do have the ability to save what they had done to that point and then
come
pick
back.
it up again, which I think would be an important
I
thing.
know, especially 200+ questions.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else?
That'd be it?
Okay. We'll make sure we'll put that on the agenda.
Yeah,
for next.
and one personal item, if I might, my buddy Paulie turns 4 tonight, so I'm excited to get back and celebrate his birthday.
Okay, very good. Okay, so I'll be last. I guess most of you all have already addressed many of the things that I'm interested in, so I'm not going to be long. I guess the one thing that I do want to mention is a couple of weeks ago, a person lost their wallet in our park, and he was playing disc golf, and the wallet has everything in there, and he was going on a trip and everything, and he needed his driver's license and blah, 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 and it was going to be difficult. I guess the one thing that I want to mention is I want to thank the people here in this community. They weren't from Holly, I believe they were from Grand Blanc, but thank you to them. They brought the wallet back, and the individual was able to get it. It was complete, and I think that's special. So a special thank you to those folks who found the wallet and brought it back. And I thought that was amazing. There's so many really unbelievable things that people do around here to take care of our community, and I really appreciate that, and I wanted to acknowledge their work. I also want to thank the staff for all the work they did quickly in the bathrooms, and then today on the cleanup. I wanted to help, but I'm not able to, but I will work on some other things with them. So thank you very much. And commissioners, this will be our last meeting for this fiscal year. So in June, at the end of this month, we will end our fiscal year and we will start our new. I believe that the manager also provided you with a copy of the report. There is one more report that's going to be due in June, showing all the costs that we spent at the end of June. And she will give us the last quarterly report for this fiscal year. And when I say this fiscal year, it'll be from July 1st, 2025 to June 30th, 2026. And so we're going to start that process all over again. Again, the audit will begin again once that starts all over again. So they'll start working with us on that. So again, it's cyclical and it will happen. And the finance or the accountant will give us the last quarter report on how we're doing. I'm very pleased with her work, and I thank you all for making sure that we get this right. And we have to make some further adjustments, and we will address them in August as well, so that we can get that done. I'm also working to come up with a purchasing policy for us, and I will bring that for your consideration so that we can get that done. And then lastly, the only thing I would ask the manager is maybe to speak with our maintenance supervisor and ask him to begin developing some sort of to-do list, for lack of a better word, in terms of what are some of the things that we must do on an annual basis, so that we can be prepared, and there'll be a checklist. Oh, we've got to change the water on the radiator. It's that time. It's time to do this or that. I think it would be behoove us if we could get some sort of record to that so that we can get started. I don't mean a humongous report or anything like that, but it's just a quick list. Don't forget to check this, don't forget to check that. And again, it's just for future reference, nothing major.
That's a great idea.
Okay, all right.
Well, there was earlier we spoke about Mel's brother-in-law who might be joining the staff.
Yes, we are looking at that. I think he will. He still has to go through a couple of more checks, I believe, or has it been done?
Actually, for a full background check, we had to submit a $20 check, which we did. He had gone in and filled out the form, and I just sent Mel an email that I had gotten from the chief that I believe that he's still waiting on something, although his brother did go in. So I don't know if there's a mix-up at the staff level in the police department. So I sent Mel the email and to show his brother that if they might possibly still be waiting on something.
It is his brother, Mel's brother?
Correct.
Okay, I see.
Yep, so hopefully we can get him on staff fairly soon.
Yeah.
Okay. And I suppose, and this is not good news for us, but I think I want to thank the manager for being quick on this and reporting to us on a recent incident that happened here in the park. And this was regarding some individuals getting lost, and we had to bring in a helicopter or something. That was helicopter. Do you want to explain a little bit on that? I know we're running out of time. We've got 20 minutes, so, Madam Manager.
I had gotten a call from Mel over the weekend. It was at around 5 o'clock. They were putting some things away here in the Nature Center. And the next thing they knew is that there were a couple police cars that showed up in front of the Nature Center. And then also there was a helicopter going on. And apparently there were some people back farther in the park that by Mel's indication that they were drunk. And the police had been called. I don't know if he was supposed to, if they were not able to find their way out, or the police couldn't find their way out once they were back there. But, so that was an issue. And then the police actually walked the individuals up to the parking lot, told them that they could not drive their cars, that they had to walk back to town.
Oh, my.
And
Okay.
so I am going to follow up with the police department regarding that and a previous incident that I had been informed of last week by a parent that had come here to the Nature Center with his family and related an incident that happened 3 or 4 weeks ago, and see if the police were even informed of that. But yeah.
So no, like I said, there's all kinds of little things that we may not always know, but I certainly appreciate all the work that you do, Mary, and appreciate the chief as well. So thank you to the Holly Police.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other comments before we leave? It is, so let me go down to item number 10, so you can speak, Quinn. So this is public comment. And this is, members of the public can address the commission once recognized by the chairperson for any items related to Holly Township Parks and Recreation. Comments are limited to 4 minutes. The commission may extend this time by up to an additional 4 minutes by majority vote. Prior to addressing the commission, members of the public are asked to state their name, street name, and town. Okay? So is there anybody from the public that wishes to make a comment? Okay, thank you.
All right, I'm Quinn Davis on Saginaw Street, Holly, Michigan. I first want to say, as a staff member and a part of the public of Holly, I do like what Mr. Carl had to say about closing the beach due to PFAS. While I understand that there is a health concern in relation to ingesting the PFAS, I have no problem with informing the public that it exists and the potential stuff happening to it. However, I feel personally that if it's not a standard by the health department closing beaches due to PFAS, which it is not. It is for like E. coli and things like that, that I don't understand why we would also close the beach if the proper education or information is put out there, that, which we have, like a lot, to the point of, you know, there is kind of a, I can't think of the word, like a, I don't know, the word, that if a beach is closed to E. coli, it's statistically not likely for more people to return to that beach because it's considered a dirty beach. If we continuously close the beach due to something that may or may not actually be what it is, that same kind of standard is going to continue on with our beach. I mean, it is kind of already, with the leeches being a thing, which I understand. You go into a lake anywhere, you can get a leech. But it's kind of our stamp on our back that we're the leechy beach. And a lot of people don't want to come to our beach because of that. So I just wanted to say that I don't like closing the beach.
Thank you.
As a worker, I don't like closing the beach as a public either.
Okay.
And I guess the second thing I want to mention is proper planning and preparation for the beach. I know I've only worked here recently for 2 years, this being my second, but previously I worked there in my youth as a lifeguard. I never remember closing the beach for really any legitimate reason besides lightning. And I don't remember delaying the opening of anything for the beach, and that has been a continuous problem last year and this year. With the repairs to like the painting of the facilities, and this year with the bathrooms being closed. And I looked on the schedule for this year. We're going to be closed for 2 days on Thursday and Friday in June for weed, something about weeds. So, I mean, I guess my question to you all is, why isn't it a better plan to prepare for the opening of the beach rather than like waiting to the last minute to start doing these things and causing delays to the beach? I guess is my statement.
Okay. Okay, very good. Thank you.
Can I answer
We
that,
really should
even
not,
with,
we really should not answer. We should not answer, with all due respect.
really?
Yes, really. Our attorney would ask us not to. You can't, no. I would advise you not to answer. I don't think anything she said,
I was going to respond to the weed, it's Aqua Weed, is a company and they spray
okay, Commissioner.
for weeds.
Commissioner,
And we joined.
all right.
And I don't think that's a liable statement.
No, no,
Excuse me.
no, it's not about liability, sir. It's
Well-
just to make sure that we have, that the answers are all complete and accurate, that's all.
That's what I was attempting to do, is make the answer complete to the question.
Okay, all right. Again, I respectfully ask that we can come back and reply at the next meeting, but I understand what you're saying, I understand. Okay, thank you, Quinn, thank you very much. But let me just say this, because since, and again, you know, we're looking at time here, and everybody talks to me about the time issue here. Let me ask the commission, would you like, does the commission have a concern if Commissioner Carl expands on this statement? Does anybody have a problem with that? Just to make sure.
I don't think it's a problem if the commissioners would like a period of time to react to what they hear. I don't think it should be a back and forth. However, I think I think it'd be okay to have a commissioner response.
All right. Again, I caution us when we answer a question without any kind of preparation. But again, I'm only one vote. So, Commissioner, if you want to expand on your response, I guess I'm the only one that says I would ask that you wait, but I think everybody else, the majority seems to think it's okay.
Are we voting on that?
Yes,
I mean,
is
what
it
are-
all?
I
No,
just-
we're not voting, it's just, we're just discussing, unless somebody really, really, you know, you've heard my recommendation, but I guess everybody else seems to think it's okay.
No, only one person gave their
Oh,
opinion.
okay,
Yeah.
one,
I mean, if you're asking if I think we need to do that right now, I'd say absolutely not. I think policy needs to be in place before that happens.
most cities do not reply to comments from the public at the meeting. They come back at the next meeting and give an answer, so that we could do that, and we can make sure that, you know, we know everything. But again, if this commission feels differently, then we can do that. Anybody else has a problem? So you're okay with that? So do you all mind if he replies then? I'm the only one, so.
I just think
Can I
we're
just
ready.
say one thing,
Mhm.
though? To what Quinn is referring to, we'll be already past that point by the time we come back to the next meeting.
We don't have to wait, we can answer her quickly if she gives us some information on how to contact her, and then we can give her an answer. I would prefer that the answer come from the manager. Again, we don't have any policy on how to address the public. Again, I'm not trying to make it seem like we have anything to hide or anything like that, or even liability. It's just that it can cause a problem if we reply to answers without full knowledge. But again, we can answer her question, you know, tomorrow. I mean, Mary, you can call her, or the commissioner can call, again, depending on the thing. Again, I sound like I'm babbling here as it is, so I guess I'm the only one, and everybody else seems to be
I
okay.
just think that it's something, I just don't know that we need to continue it right this minute.
All right, yeah,
That's my feeling on that.
It's getting late. Okay, Commissioner Hutchins, I know you're like confused here.
No, the street light's coming on, my mom's gonna be calling me.
Okay. We will get an answer to her question as quickly as we can, and we don't have to wait till the next meeting. However, I would ask that at the next meeting, we report on it to the public.
About commenting on public speaking. We do not have to respond to it right away. It's rules of procedure.
That's what
Yeah, so, yeah.
I think that's what our procedures say, but
Yeah.
could be wrong.
Not that we don't want to, but rules of procedure.
Okay. But we will get you an answer as early as we can on that issue. Okay? Unless you want to reply right now, Commissioner?
Listen, we've been around in circles
I
on this,
know.
and it's getting
It's getting late.
ridiculous, actually.
8:52. Okay, let's move on then. All right. Hearing no other comments from the public, I'd like to thank those that did come up and speak. Moving on to item number 11, adjournment. I hereby adjourn this meeting at 8:52 PM. Thank you.